Ok, dobar dan i lijep pozdrav s moje strane. Ja sam ovdje dobio sam zadatak, odnosno zamolili su me da predstavim razvoj bike, odnosno biciklističkog i outdoor turizma u Istri. So, hello everyone. My task was today to speak a little bit about the development of cycling, cyclotourism and outdoor tourism in Istria. So this is why I left the first screen just a couple of seconds ago. So for you to know what is the next one according to the schedule, because the schedule was changed. Now, since we were talking about Leroyka and the old bikes and all this funny segment of cycling, okay, then I decided not to start with the presentation from the beginning. I will turn to the presentation a little bit later, but instead at the beginning I would like for us to take a look on our promotional video that was recorded about a year and a half ago. So this is a little bit showing a little bit of the past. So if you can turn off the lights. Okay.
Porca miseria.
Okay, I hope you like the video. So this is the second video we produced in Istria about, as I said, about 2 years ago, and we had different promotional videos that were really energetic, fast, full of speed, of something new, young people. And this was a little bit different to show that we can also have a nice, pleasant bike ride in Istria, having a pleasure, having a nice time without competing. So this was the one of the promotional videos. Just a second, we have a problem with the display. Okay, now what I wanted to tell you is that in Istria the development of cyclotourism started about in the mid-90s. So it was about, I think, 20 years ago. My mathematics is sometimes comes wrong. Anyway, it started about 20 years ago, and in that time it was more or less on the amateur level. So now what I would like to tell you is in the next 10 to 15 minutes to show you a couple of informations about the development that we had and the process that took place in Istria in the last 10-15 years. So 20 years ago we had a lot of things that haven't been done already, and we knew that we wanted to be a region that would offer good services for the cyclists, because it was one of the main ways to prolongate the season. So everybody comes on the coast to have a nice time during summer. Sometimes cyclists, like local cycling team, come to have winter preparations in February, March, but more or less that was it. And then we wanted to see what was necessary to be done to be a good cycling region. And now we tried to put all the I mean, we can talk about this now. 20 years ago we didn't have all these visuals to know what exactly to do. So we spent 20 years doing more or less efficient or less efficient things. So among these 10 to 15 points are the things that one region needs to have, so to be able to say, yes, we are good developed cycling region. One of the most important things, of course, are trails, but also websites, promotion, information materials you have, and also specialists, cycling specialists, people that know cycling and that are doing all this work. I try to do some overview for the last 10 to 15 years. How was it going? And now if you look, I don't know if you see well, but we have a couple of main things that cyclotourism consists of: bike trails, bike signalization, bike maps, good top races, bike and bed accommodation, educated bike guides, Istra bike or cycling or outdoor brochure, promotional brochure, photo and video gallery, multimedia gallery, and some super brands. In 2003, about 15 years ago, we had almost none of that. And just a couple of years ago, when we started more seriously, we had a couple of those things. Now, after these 15 years, you can see that many of these products have been done. We have brochures, we have websites, we have about 124 bike trails. So we can say that we are good. Now, when you talk about this, we could say now, yes, we are really good, well-developed cycling region. I would just say with all this effort in the last 15 years, we are only at the beginning. Now we can start promoting our product and selling Istria as a cycling destination. So this is how hard it is. So at the beginning, basic of all cycling products are bike trails. So wherever you go, whatever you want to do, you need to do itineraries where cyclists will ride their bikes. It can be on the road with road bikes, it can be on the trekking bikes, distance distant running trails. You can do mountain bike parks, or any other product now, electric bike and so on. So in 2013 we had 43 bike trails that were almost all of them on the website with wrong information. So we had about 15 trails. And then we checked all these trails. We added some new ones. So we had 92 2 years ago, and now we have 124. Actually, we have about 140. So now we decided there are too many of them, too much overlapping, and we started cutting or putting them off the list. So lowering the number of the trails we offer in Istria because we think now it's too much. If you see the numbers, if you take any other region, for example, Split, Zadar, Šibenik, or any other region in Croatia, you will see that they all try to have bigger numbers than us. They try to have more trails, more kilometers, but the point is, it's not the quantity, it's the quality, of course. This is how it looks on the map. Green, light ones, yellow, middle level, and the red ones are really hard ones. So if you know the construction, the geomorphology of Istria, it's more or less where the hills are. This is where the difficult trails are. The point is, Istria consists of two regions. One is a coastal region, and the other one is inner part of Istria. This is the real Istria because on the coast are big and strong hotel companies. And just a short overview. So this is how it looks like now in the real how much these trails cover the area of Istria. So now when you look at this picture, you see that it's not the point to get more trails. It's the point maybe have less trails, but with higher quality, to have signposts, to be clean, to get services for the proper type of users. So if you are on the coast, you have a hotel companies, you probably you won't make too hard trails because the professionals won't ride on this area along the coast and so on. So for this we need more advanced analytics and statistics to see where to do it. Okay. Of course, we have two Eurovelo routes that go through our region, although I have to say that these trails, these routes are not so popular, and I think that they participate in the cycling income maybe in 1, 2, 3, 5%. They're really not so they're not important for the moment. Number 9 and number 8, Mediterranean, and this vertical route Baltic Adriatic. So now we are trying to do it more seriously in coordination with the Ministry of Tourism of Croatia. But anyway, I have to mention this section also. Now there is another problem. This problem is partly connected with the problem of land owning and regulations on the government level. Now what's the point? The point is, this is the situation in 2008. I hope you see it. So you have a couple of tables here, a couple of signalization varieties. When I did it in 2008, when we started with this uniform signalization, I numbered 13 different signalizations in Istria. 12. I met one after 10 years last year, and I saw, wow, this is the 13th. I didn't know this one exists also. So this was really a chaos. Then we defined how it's going to look like, what will be of the information on this table, because actually if you look at this picture, this is typical tourist information board, and you have biciklistička staza. It means bicycle trail, bike trail. So if you are from Hungary or from Netherlands or from China, you come here and you look at this, what it's written here, and you don't know. Actually, what do you need? You need direction, it's for cyclists, and it's this number. Nothing more. So actually you need 20% of this area. You don't damage the area visually, so the tables are smaller. This is really interesting psychology. It's not important they are bigger. It's important they are small enough to be seen, but not to do damage to the environment. In real, they look much smaller than this one. This is okay. So today we have these tables. They are small, 15 by 22 centimeters, 20 by 30 centimeters. So it's this big. So actually, what you need is all on this section here. We split Istria in 7 zones. Each zone has got its number. So zone 1 is from 01 to 099. Zone 7 is from 601 to 699. Each trail, one number on the table, one number on the website, in the brochure, on the bike map. So one number for each cycling trail. And then we also, since we are developing outdoor, we also created a similar system for the hiking, walking, running trails. So now if you look, you will see that besides cycling, we also have on-foot segment that's got signalization, and we had really good cooperation with the, how would you say, Planinari, mountaineering hiking organization in Istria. So they made their own tables that comprise of their own colors from their own color, and similar to our tables. So now we have a really good combination and really good system that's been implemented in reality from 2014 on. And this is really a good solution. I have to say that all the other regions in Croatia started implementing our systems, really many of them, because they see it's really efficient. Now, what I said, the problem is that on the government level, on the national level, we have different kind of cycling signalization. It's a blue one, it's a big one, blue one with lot of unnecessary information, missing the important ones. And this is on the next slide. You will see the difference, how it looks like. So this is, I would say, this is not the cycling signalization. I would say this is more like a cycling transport signalization, because these are the indications towards some destinations, not more like a tourist product. This is more like a transport product. So this is what exists on the national level. Anything else is not been recognized by the government. So now we are trying to do the implementation of our signalization and what will do other regions to be the national standard also. So we can use both. Beside typical bike trails, we created specific family and recreation trails. They are short, from 3 to 13 kilometers. They start from big hotel companies, big hotel areas or camps, from 3 to 13 kilometers, flat, with no technical parts, absolutely without any danger, and if possible, to avoid any kind of traffic or dangerous roads. So this is created especially for families and for the family and for the small children and for the older people that are really physically not maybe too fit. And this is really good. Our hotel companies are really happy because of this, so maybe they will help us more. Okay, next thing we did after bike signalization, this is the situation in Istria and on the same 2008 year. So as you can see, this is one of the most important thing you can see on this map. So the whole product has been changed in 2008. Why? Because until 2008, each town or each tourist board created a bike map just for its own region. Why is this important? Because we have about 31 or 32 local communities and tourist boards in Istria. 30. So let me see. This is one, and this here is second one. This second one is about 1.5 by 3 kilometers big. So if you try to do bike trails and bike map for this region, for this tourist board, it's impossible. So what we created after that, we tried to change paradigm. We tried to explain that we have to create bike products, bike trails, bike signalization and bike maps. So the product for cyclists, not for the communities. So the bike map is covering the area that one cyclist can do in 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. Maybe 2 maps, doesn't matter. Not that he has to have 5 maps to do region here, because if I go on a bike, I will do this one here and come back in 2 hours of riding on a mountain bike. And this was a big shift, and after that all the things started by new. Now this year we created the last 2 maps of this system, covering north and southern part of Istria, and we created road cycling map in Istria. This was it's important to mention that this process took 10 years. So someone that knew what to do, how to do it, needed 10 years to create this kind of product that looks very simple. You have a piece of paper with some maps, some trails, that's it. Okay. All right. So this is how it looks on the on the ground. This is one of the main problems, that bike maps usually have really poor cartography surface, and then whatever you put on them, trails or any other kind of services, is really unrecognizable, and you cannot use it because it's useless. We had different visual standards. Now you recognize our standards appearing on all materials, but this was the situation about 10 years ago. This is Rovinj, this is Poreč, the similar is with Pula and other regions. Now nowadays this is the second design that was made about 8 years ago, and now we created a new one that has the same visual identity we are using also on my shirts, on myself, outdoor and Istra bike. So this is something that you probably can recognize now. Okay, just to mention this, we created open source cartography, OpenStreetMap. This is like a Google, but it's free. You can update yourself and you can get from it, and you can print your maps for free without any copyright. So if you're using any kind of service on the internet for cartography, aside of Google, we are probably using OpenStreetMap, and we created this and we offered free maps for anyone in the region, for the agencies, communities, cyclists, cycling teams, and so on. I won't spend too much time. I hope some of you already know for Parenzana. And on the second slide you saw today, there was one section that called super brands. So Parenzana was almost unknown. It's an old railway that's been forgotten from 1932. It stayed off the radar for 70 years. And in 2006 they started restructuring the trail to be new old cycling and walking trail. So after 2010, after a lot of investment in promotion, now I can say this is the super brand that's even more popular than Istria itself. And it's a big problem because we have 78 kilometers of a gravel road that needs to be restructured with all the bridges, tunnels. So it's a big, not pain in the, but it's really a problem now. Really, you can spend 30 million euros just like this to restructure it if you have it, but we don't have it, so it's a bit of a problem. You can visit on the website if you want. I won't spend too much time. Okay, we are missing part of the screen. So Istra bike and bed. This is the accommodation for cyclists. In the middle of the year we had about 90 three different types of accommodation. So this is the main way how to have cyclists to stay in your place. So we had bike hotels. These are big hotels. We had small family-run hotels, boutique hotels, and then we had private accommodation, houses for rental, apartments, and any other kind. At the end of this year, we are going to have about 120 places like this. Only 2 years ago, we had 55. So we invested, we helped them financially to prepare their places for the cyclists, to buy tools, to prepare maps, to educate themselves. So it's a long process, and we need a lot more time, but the brand is here, and you can see also we created all the tables for the front. So before, when Dixie was speaking, you are using wheels. We are using kranc, se kaže kranc, kako je na slovenski, je? Penko, je? Zupčanik, kako bi se rekao? Zubnik, okay, no? Okay, kao male, so these symbols like small stars, these pieces of the chain on the cyclist. So we have from 1 to 5, and this is the system, and this is the table big about, I think it's about 30 by 30 centimeters. Okay, so if you come in Istria, maybe you'll see it now. And at the end, all this and much more than I was talking about is on the official website Istria Bike, Istria-Bike. So this is the place you can find anything. So 99% of anything that we have is on the website. You can find calendar, so manifestations, all kind of events in Istria. You can find accommodation, bike trails, services of rental, transportation, selling service. You can find different materials. You can find all the maps and all the brochures to download in PDF. You have photo video gallery, and so on and so on. So just short digression, and then we will finish the story. Okay, stop now. So we focus this website on three main services that help and keep they invite and keep the guests in our region. So if you come for event, you will need accommodation. If you are on accommodation, you will need some trails or some manifestations, some events to have fun. So we try to focus this on accommodation and services, so they spend more money in our region. Anyway, before I finish my presentation, we have just 1 or 2 slides more. I just wanted to have a little step back, because before we heard one of the main problems with La Roica. The point is that you know, we have a lot of local communities and we have a lot of politicians, and they all need votes. So how to get votes? You get vote by offering something to someone that will give you a vote, and you have to do something very easy. One of the easiest things, as far as I can see, is asphalt the road. So we have a lot of small roads asphalted, and we have a lot of macadam gravel roads, so we need to asphalt more. So each time, after each 4 years, we have problem, because we need to update our maps, because a lot of gravel roads are now asphalted roads, and it's getting bigger and bigger problem, because I think finally we will destruct all the real source and the product we can offer. So this is really one of the problems. Anyway, the second thing I wanted to point you as our experience. So the development of cyclotourism was going on for 15 years. Yeah, after 15 years, the whole region finally came to a conclusion that it cannot be done by 1 or 2 people that love cycling, doing it voluntarily, unofficially, and so this is really out of any logical thinking. So we needed to do something official. In 2014, regional government and 6 hotel companies that already have they have a regional tourist board. They have a regional agency for development of tourism. They created a special development section. So how would you say, department for development of cycling and outdoor tourism in Istria. And it was my luck to get into this department. From 2014, we were developing cycling. Then we created walking product like Istra Trails, Istra Bike, then Istra Trails, and finally we came to Istra Climbing. It was free climbing. After we created these 3 products, all following the same idea from the beginning, same visual identity, same concept. When we created free climbing, then we published the brand we kept on from the beginning. It was Istra Outdoor. So now we have a brand Istra Outdoor. You can find it also on the Facebook. And then we have bike, trails, and climbing sub-products. So now we have actually these 3 products. The 4th product that is going on now, and I hope it will be finished until the next season, it's going to be Istra Kayaking. So we'll have kayaking, and then we will go on. So what you have here is the best produced, the best product, and all these other products have the similar faith, the similar development process, but they are going just faster because all this experience we apply to trails and climbing and all other products. So you can see Istria Bike, Istria Trails, Istria Outdoor, and Istria Climbing websites. You can check them on the Facebook and on the website. Okay, so this is the concept why we have Istra Outdoor logos and so on. So, okay, all right. So, finally, I try to put in front of myself what is really important to create an active destination. If we want to develop cycling, what do we need to do? What do we need to have as a concept, as a tool to develop ourselves? So, first, everybody is screaming we don't have money. Everybody has got money. It's just a matter of priorities, where the money is going. This is the first thing. So I think the financial support, of course, but I think money is not the problem. Okay? Then what is really important is to have coordinated development of destination. You cannot have one local tourist board doing one thing, the other one doing another thing. They all need to have one map, one system of signalization, one website, one person or one department that is going to develop this kind. So whole destination needs to work as a one. This is the very, very important thing. Then what actually do you need? You need a long-term plan. If you are having arrangements for a budget and for the plan, you're doing it each year for the next year, and then next year for the next year. The problem is you will have money for this year you are planning. Now you will have money maybe for 2018. But if you want to have any kind of partnership with any kind of serious partner like Cube, Pinarello, or you want a producer of car company like Skoda or BMW, or you want to have any kind of brand, you need to do it a lot in advance. So now if you go to some serious partner, you will not talk about 2018, you will not talk about 2019, you will talk about 2020. So if you come to a discussion and say, yeah, we want to be your partner, but we have the plan only for the next year, what do you say? I say, no, we have finished 2019 already, we can talk 2020 now. And you say, I don't know, because I don't know if we will exist in 2 years. So you need to have one destination, financial support, and you really need to have long-term plan, not to change it every year or to have a question if we are going to work next year or not. And then we come to the final thing that connects all these things. So it's humans, people, experts. If you have 1 or 2 fools in your destination that are willing to do this half voluntarily and half professionally, and know what to do, and even be able to have fights with other people because they want to keep development and want to do their job, then these are experts that are going to connect all these things and do the real work. So if your destination without good experts, you will probably fail in all these other things. So what you need, find good experts, develop the people, and they will create all these other things. And pitfall, this is mostly this is what we are missing all over the place. So the people are not being evaluated good enough. All right. So this is the problem we also have. And then when you have all these things, then you can go and develop cyclotourism, walking, climbing, kayaking, paragliding, on wherever you want. This is just the mean of expression. You need people. Okay. Okay, this is for me. I don't want to continue anymore because it's going to be too long. If you have any questions, you can ask. You can visit on the website. You have Facebook, so you can check it there and go on, like our pages and follow our products and publications. Okay. So thank you for your waiting. Okay.
Thank you, Martin. Were there any questions? Yes.
Thank you very much. I am completely impressed by the good job that you have done. So I would like to know if there was a beginning, so when there was a turn, because I think that you had a vision. Maybe not you. I would like to know if somebody was the first, somebody brought the rest of the group, because it's important that somebody convinced, but it's also important that everybody needs a vision. It's not depending on one politician, because as you said, maybe in 2 years he's not there anymore, or is not even interested in that project because he doesn't get the votes for the next election. So I would like to know if there was like a turn, an important turn, and then I would like to ask you someone else. But
okay, yes, we need fools, not horses, but just fools. That's enough. I mean, you need to have people that are willing to do something because they want to do it. So if the money is not the issue, we just need to ask ourselves, what do I want to do? So if we put money aside and say, I'm not interested in money, what would I do if I want to do because I love it? This is someone that can create the product. There is a story, you don't want to be a doctor when you grow up because you want to get money, because doctor gets a lot of money, because you do it because you want to help people. You don't do it because this is your job. You do it because you love it. And if it's your job, woohoo, nothing better. First break point was in 2003, 2004. There was a guy, a friend of mine, now works in Maistra, hotel company. It was Bernard Musulin and Manuela Hrvatin. So Bernard started working on the regional level as a guy, as a person that develops cyclotourism, and Manuela Hrvatin was the person that brought Giro d'Italia in Istria in 2004, 2 stages, and we also had person above Denis Ivošević that created this job for Bernard that could develop cyclotourism. And in this time they invited and gave job to people, specialists, and among them it was me. After that, so this is where the first website, serious website started, but where we traced first trails. I myself did, I think, about 40 trails with the enduro motorcycle during winter. So it was 2004. After that, Bernard went away, and I started doing this job in 2006, first as an outside partner, outsource, and then in 2007, 2008, officially from the Department of Tourism. Now, I'm lucky to say that I started this story with signalization and with maps and with all these things, also education for bike guides. I started with my colleagues 2008, our team started that, and now we are still doing it after 10 years. We did about 20 educations, also educations for blind people on tandems and so on. So we had a lot of experience. And so the first point was 2004, the next one was about, I would say, 2008, when we switched to a new way of thinking. Maps for the whole area, not just for one local community, that we need bike guides, that we need specialists for the hotel companies, that we need uniformed bike maps, uniformed bike signalization. And this is, it was really hard. I know when I was doing it, the problem, I mean, the real problem is when you are in the war, it's usually, it's simple, you know, you have your side and you fight the other side. And this way you fight your colleagues, you fight your superiors, you fight people from your region, and then you need to fight on the international arena. So you have a lot of volunteers in your area also. It's everywhere is the same story. This is the real irony in life. You need help, but instead of getting help, you are fighting for something. Like, I want to do single trail here because we are volunteers. It's going to give you money to your hotel, into your tourist board. You will get more money. You will get more money, and I want to do it for free. Would you help me? No, we don't see the point in that. And you need to fight that. And this is all the time. It's the problem if you go by bicycle outside the official bike trail. What is bike trail? Who is creating bike trail? Who is the expert? Now, a lot of questions. Can you go with the light during night outside riding your bike? Maybe you will scare some animals. I mean, these are the many problems that you need to solve and to go over in your local community and then to fight international arena. So this is the real problem. We had these phases. In 2014, hotel companies and the regional government got together to have a department to develop cycling and outdoor tourism. And this was and still is the unique kind of department in Croatia. So we are still the only one region that has got this kind of department, and we are doing it in a good way. Now we are coming to a next point where we need to break it, or whether we will stop working or we will progress and go more, because we need more budget to do more serious work, more serious promotion, more serious infrastructure development, because otherwise we won't be good anymore. And now we are on such a point after 4 years of work again. So every 3-4 years it seems to come some kind of problem like this. So we had 3 points like this: 2004, 2008, 2014, and now we are coming to the 4th one. No. We are still alive.
Thank you.
Okay. You had another question?
Other questions? Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to end asking you if you are observing good results after this big job. So which result? Because if you get good results, then you get the money to do the next step, Like
Really?
yes,
You do?
yes. For example, in my district in the northern Lake Garda, they converted an ancient road into a gravel road. It was an asphalted road. They took off the tarmac, and now it's one of the
They
best.
took off.
They took off.
We have to talk later.
No, it's important because it's one of the main district for mountain biking, for cycling in Europe, and it's thanks also to this big.
You will come in Istrian next year, definitely,
Yes.
for free.
So I would like to know which results you.
We'll talk later, seriously. Okay, this is great.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
What are the strategies of how you promote this project abroad?
The question before, when you do good results, you get more work, usually the same money. I'm not. Yeah, we have huge improvements. Huge. We have so many cyclists in the last 3-4 years in the pre-season and now in the after season. You don't need to count them. It's incredible what's the difference, what's the enlargement of the numbers. They're crowding the streets. We are now developing a strategical document. It's already finished, and in the next month we hope that the regional government will approve it as the official attitude of the direction of the region of Istria, to get directions that are red, dangerous, to put them aside, and so on. So we are creating new products, but the problem is we need more money, and the money is not growing with the growth. So you are developing, you are getting better, you have better standards, good tables, more trails, more websites, more products, you have more Facebook pages, you have more events, you have everything more, but the money is not coming, is not enlarging. And this is the main issue we need to solve now. We have far too little money for development, comparing it to the income that's coming from the cyclotourism, especially the income that's growing in the last couple of years. So this is what we need to understand and to change way of thinking. You understand? Because we need to get money from someone. It needs to be local government or tourist boards or hotel companies. Nobody's willing to get money, to give money. So this is the really painful and important issue. And so this is what is partly giving an answer to the next question: how much money are we investing in promotion? We, as our department in promotion, directly are investing about 500 euros. Facebook campaigns. We have tourist board of Istria that's doing some promotions, but specific promotion, it's really absurd to tell, we don't have, because we don't have money. We have hotel companies like Valamar, Maestra. Earlier it was northwest part of Istria. So hotel companies with local tourist boards where they have influence. They are investing in some products, some events. They're going on some fairs, some how do you say, fairs, right? And some big races to promote the region or part of Istria. But for having a really good promotion, you need to have a lot of money, because you need to have consistency. You need to have good idea, good visualization. You need to have good system, good places where you will go, and you need to do it constantly. You need to do it year after year, and then maybe you will have some effect, maybe. So you need a lot of money, continuously. And if you don't have money, you cannot do it. You can focus yourself on Facebook campaigns, do partnerships with the events in your region. So when they go, you go with them. You save the costs. You pay half price of the stand. You do the materials for the region. They do their own, or vice versa. When you go somewhere, some of them go with you. So this is what we are doing, and I think really we are doing a lot more effect than we actually have finances on our hands. A lot more. This is really, the scale is incredible. No money almost, and the effect is huge. So this is one of the things we need to change. We need to go to events, and we need to have money for that.
Okay, then we had another question here.
Actually, I have two questions. One is technical and one is a bit more political. The technical one is, you said you can see that there's huge number of cyclists, but do you actually count them? How do you know that you're making progress? And the political one is...
What party am I in?
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
no.
Okay, the second will come.
What is the second question?
Will come after the first, after you answer the
Okay,
first.
so counting. Nobody in our country, not Istria, in our country, Croatia, has got no system of counting the guests. So we count the guests. Everybody's counting the guests. We have a number of tourists. It's millions, all right? Nobody's separating groups. There are no groups. So we don't have a group for cyclists. So when someone tells you, we have about 15 to 16,000 guests this year, we don't have. This is just an assumption. So I can say that on Parenzana, throughout the year, we have about 200,000 people. Actually, it's 300,000. Actually, it's 500,000. So you can take any scale, but actually you can do some numbers. But the point is, you cannot put a counter, physical counter, on so many trails, mountain bike trails and so on. What we did now, we instead of getting some counters that are solar or electrically powered to stand beside the trail, you can do it in urban area. So now we are doing, we bought small counters, boxes with small electronic devices. They count the metal going by, iron, and then we put these counters on some trails, narrow enough and that represent this type of trails. So we pick the trails from this group. Okay, I think it would be this trail and this part of the land. So we did this season and implemented first counters, and then for the next season we plan to buy some more and to implement more. The point is that all the tourist boards would need to invest and to buy counters for their trails, but this is one of the problems that's not being solved for the moment. So we, as the department, need to invest slowly each year after year.
Okay, thank you. And now the political question. You showed a great example of maps of towns that were then changed into maps of the areas. And I'm asking if, what's the role of towns now, of municipalities, of the smaller regions? Is everything happening on Istra level, or are there still Poreču map and Pula map, but you don't care about it? And if not, what are towns not doing now?
So the story with maps, I think this is one of the crucial moments in our development, as simple as it looks like, was the if you take a look on the maps that are being offered on the cycling market, I think that there is really big, too big percentage of bad cycling maps, really bad cycling maps. So this is something that surprises me. First task was to do a good cartography layer, and after we did that, we could create good maps. And I think we are pretty good in this. And this was the first point we needed to break. So we created the maps that cover approximately 25 by 15 kilometers, 25 by 18, something like this. And we have the paper from, I think, 50 by 70 centimeters size. Each trail, bike trail, is being kept by tourist board on which area the trail starts. So if it starts here and goes through one or two different municipalities, you will keep the trail good because it's your task. And when we created maps and we started with the first trail that goes over one municipality to another officially, they got along. The second one approved the first one to keep the trail good. And this is the practice that came after that normally. So now you have a map of whole Poreču region. When I say Poreču region, it means Vrsar, Fontana, Poreču, Tar, Vižanada. So it's area all around the Poreču. If you are in Poreču, you sit on your bike, you can do 30-40 kilometers trail without exiting the map. and this is how it functions. The trails, as I mentioned before, keeping the trails well, doing the map and the area it covers. So now we have 6 or 7, just a second, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 maps of the areas around and 2 maps of the middle part, because they need to cover a similar area. They have big areas, so they overlap a little bit. So, and with these maps that we did this spring, the whole system is closed after 10 years. And then we created a road cycling map of whole Istria. This is the last one in series. Is this the answer you wanted?
Maybe the main question was how you convinced towns that they don't need to do their own maps, because in Slovenia we are still
arguing. I didn't ask. I said this has to be done.
Okay.
Are you sure? I'm sure. No, we don't. You will do it. Yeah, we have one. Okay, good. This is the example how the story went. Someone needs to say what will be done, how much it will cost, what time do you need to do it, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then your boss that believes you says, do you really think this is necessary? Yeah. You think this we can do it? Yeah. You really think this? Yeah. But we have maps, but we need it, this blah, 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 blah. Okay, I support. If you think this is necessary, do it. And then you put your head on the plate, and if someone is stronger than you and you do something bad for that person, then you lose your job. But if you are crazy enough to do against these attitudes, then you come and you say, okay, we have this, we will change this to the new system, and it is going to look like this. All right? And if they say, all right, then you do it, and you do it finally. We had one region, I don't want to say which one. It was the first one, I think, we did. And we did the map, everything was finished, so it was region along the coast and huge part of the land inside, even in another cluster. So we have some clusters, you know. So we also took some map, we had on the map also some bike trails from another cluster. But I said, great, you know, you have map, you don't have your own 3, now you have 8 bike trails on your map. And we finished the map, and map was ready to be approved and go into print. And this lady from the tourist board, the director, she came and said, look, I mean, this is great, but we will do just our tourist board area. You know, we will cut this. I said, but this is 2/3 of the map you will put away. You will have only 3 trails. You know, it's, I mean, the system is different now. We will change it. No, we have to do it because from my tourist board, they won't approve it. I said, well, fine then, okay. All right? I said, all right, we won't print it. What do you mean? You will do it like this and we will print it, all right? No, we will do just our tourist board, our town. I said, no, if you do it like this, I won't print this map. So this map goes as I said, or it won't go in the print. It went into print after 3 years. It was 6th in a row. It wasn't first, it was 6th. So they couldn't believe. I went into confrontation. Maybe I could lose my job. I didn't, hopefully. And then after, instead of having a map in 2008, they have it in 2013. So if there was too strong, if there was someone too strong, maybe I would have a penalty, I would lose my job. This way, I did my way, like Frank Sinatra, and it was good. Finally, and they got along with it. I think the point is, if you do something, people are usually lazy. So you have to put the things on a way that if someone wants to change or stop you, needs to do some effort, to put some energy. So if you do it and he can stand and let it go, it's going to go. If he needs to do something to stop you, he probably won't do it. So this is what we did. I just did the map, I put it, it was lucky, I was lucky, and the system went on. After this moment, nobody was asking why it's been done on this way. It's done that way, and now everybody is doing, all the tourist boards, all the partners, everybody is doing this system, and nobody's thinking anymore about the old system. So, luck and...
I have one question here, that will be really the last question.
Okay, a quick one. Thank you for your presentation. The connection between Tour of Croatia, the cycling race, professional race, and the promotion of Croatia as a cycling destination. Do you see any connection?
Well, no, I don't think that cycling is actually promoting a region or a destination. Of course, I'm joking. I think that investment in Tour of Croatia from the National Tourist Board, from the government level, was in not just the tourism sense, but generally, I think it was one of the best promotional investment we could have. And I'm not sure that they still understand that. So Vladimir, colleague of mine, Miha, he's still fighting for finances, and I think that in last year, this year, we're already in 2018, but this year, after 3 years, he managed to cover the expenses and to get to some kind of zero. And I hope he will get in a plus next year. I think that maybe the situation now is more stable, but I think it was one of the best things after Giro d'Italia. Because Giro d'Italia, after it was in 2004, it was an incredible movement. Everybody was along the road. I don't know what, maybe if Tito would pass by, there could be this or maybe bigger number of people, but otherwise it was really, it was huge number of volunteers, everybody. So the whole region and the cycling in the region was living on Giro memories for the next 2 or 3 years. And this is where the whole this thing started. This was the first break-even point. And now it's Tour of Croatia. I'm really happy. I was there from the first moment. Really, I'm really happy because of these projects and to be part of them. You know, someone did something good and I was there. Wow, it's great. It's a great thing, and I hope it will last and it will continue. We have 6 stages for the next year, as far as I know, and I got the preliminary list yesterday, so it's going well for the moment.
Okay, thank you. This evening Martin will also be in the round table, so if you have more questions for him, you can also ask it this evening. I see that in the meantime the director of Sport Union Kerten also joined us. Welcome. So this was it for this afternoon. This evening at 8, same place, round table debate, cyclists welcome, a round table about bike tourism. You're all welcome, of course. So see you this evening.